Hey everyone, it's JC. I'm back this week. I'm a little early. I'm actually posting this early because we're going on a trip for my son's graduation. But all week I was like, I have too much to do. I'll just do it after. I can post it a little late. But no, the message today has been burning in my heart this week. It's just been spinning around and around in my head. And I thought, you know what? I'm just jumping on here and going to record one before I go, so you get it early. We have been talking about, in different ways, about attaching ourselves to Christ the way we've been attached to food. And we've been looking at it from many different perspectives. And if you want the deep dive into this, that's my Satisfied class. I know I say it again and again, but that's the deep dive. These are just little bites, little ideas. And so I'll put that link below. But today we're going to talk about our relationship with him. Because when we're talking about how deep some of us have been attached to food and the kind of bliss and satisfaction and comfort and friendship, whatever words you want to use, that we have felt with our favorite treats, they have been there for us. I've heard many people coaching with me telling me that's my best friend. I felt that way too. Like, it is your salvation sometimes. It is your lifeline. When we have been that deep with food and we are looking at making a change and trying to break that attachment, because no diet will ever do that. We need to have those needs met on the soul level by something new instead of food. And we're trying to turn to the Lord and let him feed that deep soul craving that we've been running to the kitchen to fill. We need to look at our relationship with him and assess kind of where it's at and maybe where it could be. So we're going to look at many different examples in the scriptures today of different levels of relationship that are all good. It's all about growth in that relationship. So it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum, but just to maybe think about, is there more that I could experience? And is that why maybe I'm not seeing the healing or the change that I want to see in my life? So I'm not going to quote a ton of scriptures, but if we start at maybe the most basic level of relationship, all through the scriptures, you'll see the idea of a master and servant, or a king and a servant. We are his servants. We're called that over and over in many different places. And it's a beautiful concept that we are here to do his will. We offer him our life and we serve him by blessing others by all kinds of different ways. So master and servant, it's a great place to start out. It develops a reverence for him and an understanding that his will is our focus in our life. But then we can move to deeper levels. So think of that other example in scripture, and I forgot to look this up, so you can go look up one that fits this, but there's many, where the idea of a shepherd and his sheep, where that's more than a master and servant. He is caring for us. He loves us. He tenderly watches over us. There's some verses that talk about in him we find pasture. We are taken care of by our shepherd. And that's I think a more beautiful, kind of a little bit deeper level that draws more love out of us for this shepherd that cares so much for us and takes care of us. But then let's go to a couple more levels. In John chapter 15, the Lord with his disciples takes it even deeper. He says in it is 15:15. I thought I was wrong. 15:15. He says, henceforth, I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. And then he continues to talk about how they're his friends. I mean, this is the Son of God. This is the Messiah, the Savior of the world. And yet he was offering them and saying to them, I'm inviting you into a level of friendship. You're my friends. I tell you what my Father has told me. I share things with you. It's a more intimate level than master and servant, or even than shepherd and sheep. It brings it to a closer level where his friends. And I hope we've at least tasted some of that. I just kicked my camera. We've tasted it on some level. It may not be where you would say that you're at right now, but that's possible. That's possible in our relationship to be his friend and to have him kind of speak that to our soul, that we have sought him and pursued him, and we have broken through to where it's no longer this cold, distant relationship, but it's becoming more intimate. But then the deepest level is used all over scripture again and again and again. And so I didn't even want to throw out that many verses because there's so many, but it's the idea of husband and wife relationship, becoming one flesh. He is called the bridegroom, right? And the church is his bride. Paul in 2 Corinthians 11:2 says, "For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ." There's so many places where this is even deeper than friendship. The book of Hosea, we could spend a half an hour digging through Hosea. The entire book is an example of this. Hosea represents the Lord, and we are Gomer, his wife, and it talks about, he even says, I want to betroth you to me. I want this one flesh. I want this marriage level relationship that is deeper than friends. So as you think about attachment, we keep using that word, attachment to Christ, and drawing close to him and being able to draw those deep level comforts and needs that your soul is just crying out for and has been running to the chocolate to fill. Can you see how that is born out of a very deep and close relationship with him, where we move through those levels? He may begin as our master and we are his servant, and that is a beautiful place to start. He may move into a place where he is more our shepherd and he cares for us and it's more tender, but then it begins to feel like he's our friend. And then it begins to open to an even deeper place where he is like a husband to us, like a spouse. Now, I want to read you some quotes from one of my favorite books. It's so funny. It's like falling apart. I have had this book for so long, and have loved it. It's The Christian Secret of a Happy Life by Hannah Whitall Smith. And Hannah lived in the late 1800s. So her language is a little different if you've never read this before. But the testimony that this woman gives of exactly what we're talking about. So she makes a point that I had never thought about before. When I first read this chapter, it just, in terms of relationship and what level we're on, this is what she says. And again, pardon the old-fashioned relationship or old-fashioned language, but I think you'll get the point. She says, there are many relations in life which require from the different parties only very moderate degrees of devotion. We may have really pleasant friendships with one another and yet spend a large part of our lives in separate interests and widely differing pursuits. When together, we may greatly enjoy one another's society and find many congenial points, but separation is not an especial distress to us. And other and more intimate friendships do not interfere. Listen to this. There is not enough love between us to give us either the right or the desire to enter into and share one another's most private affairs. Do you have friendships like that? Where they're very pleasant, they're very dear to you, but you can go weeks and months without seeing them and it's not really distressing. It's just not on that level. When you see them, you love it, you grab them and hug them or whatever, and they're very dear in your life. But she said, there's not enough love between us to give us either the right or the desire to share our most private affairs. They're not that kind of deep level. And so it's not that distressing to spend time away from them because they're pleasant, but they're not that intimate. She says, a certain degree of reserve and distance is the suitable thing, we feel, with relationships like these. But there are other relations in life where all this is changed. The friendship becomes love. The two hearts give themselves to one another to be no longer two, but one. A union of souls takes place. And again, we're using the analogy of our human relationship. So there are some where that union of souls has taken place. It's not always a spouse. It could very well be that is what we're talking about, but it could be a family relationship. It could even be a best friend relationship where those barriers are broken and that intimacy is at a whole new level. A union of souls takes place, which makes all that belongs to one the property of the other. Separate interests and separate paths in life are no longer possible. Things which were lawful before become unlawful now because of the nearness of the tie that binds. If I was just friends with my husband, I could talk to other men. I could maybe even go out with other men. But once we have that union of souls, what was once lawful is no longer lawful because of our intimate connection, our covenant There's a commitment there that requires a deeper heart and soul connection than just friendship. She says, the reserve and distance suitable to mere friendship becomes fatal in love. Love gives all and must have all in return. So then she spends a whole bunch of the chapter talking about how that is our pursuit in our relationship with Christ. It may start out as servant, it may lead to shepherd and sheep, it may go to deep friendship. But even in a friendship, we could spend long days and weeks where we actually are so busy we don't even think about him, and it's not that distressing to us because it's a pleasant friendship. There's great gratitude and love for him, but we just get caught in life and we just don't think of him, and it's not that disturbing. But then on Sunday again, or whenever we get back in our scriptures and that love bubbles up again, that friendship is a good thing. But can you see how moving to a deeper level? That's why the scriptures use husband, wife as kind of like the highest level of relationship that we can have with him. Listen to this. I've used this quote so many times. And she paints this picture of how Christ is asking us for this level of relationship. Continually at every heart he is knocking and asking to be taken in as the supreme object of love. Wilt thou have me, he says to the believer, to be thy beloved? Wilt thou follow me into suffering and loneliness and endure hardness for my sake, and ask no reward but my smile of approval and my word of praise? Wilt thou give up to me the absolute control of thyself and all that thou art? Wilt thou be content with pleasing me and me only? May I have my way with thee in all things. Wilt thou come into so close a union with me, as to make a separation from the world necessary? Wilt thou accept me for thy only Lord and leave all others to cleave only unto me? Now she makes the point. She says, now when we're in a marriage relationship, is it distressing that we have to give up so many things to come into that intimate, oh, am I sad that I can't date other men? No. So this union may we may think, oh man, that's a lot. But I willingly entered into that close of a relationship with my husband. Why wouldn't it be the same way with the Lord? Oh, where does she say? Don't be afraid to let yourself go. In a heart whole devotedness to your Lord that can brook no reserves. Others may not approve, but he will, and that is enough. Let your heart and hand be as free to serve him and his heart as his heart and hand were to serve you. Let him have all there is of you, body, soul, and spirit, time, talents, voice, everything. Bring God thus into your life and into all its details, and a far grander enthusiasm will thrill your soul than the brightest days of youth could ever know, and nothing will seem hard or stern ever again. I need to tell you which chapter that's in case you want to go read this yourself. It's an older version. Some of the books aren't this old. It's I want you to know it was on, here's the page. It was on page 148 in this version. It's the chapter, sorry you guys. It's the chapter that starts with, if you want to go read this, oh please do. Practical Results in the Daily Walk and Conversation is the name of the chapter. So if you want to find, really just read the whole book. Just read the whole book. It's so great. We've shared it with some friends lately. We're reading through it together and it's been a joy. If you want to be free, if food is no longer doing it for you anymore, and you can see that it's not fixing what your soul really needs, and as you run into the kitchen and you're binging and thinking, you get the momentary bliss, but it's just not enough anymore. There is more that can happen in our relationship with Christ. There is something when we fully enter into this kind of intimate relationship where it is painful if I don't spend a day with his presence with me. It's not friendship anymore. I need him with me all the time. The way that I enjoy my husband with me all the time. And we talk about things and we're close and we share things, deep heart things that we don't share with other people. That's what we're aiming for as we move in the direction where we become attached to him, where our soul is filled, and where his love washes away everything that used to send us into a binge. I hope that is helpful this week. I hope that gives you some things to think about as you move forward in your walk with him and as you begin to explore deeper and deeper healing. Have a great week, everyone.